Hello and welcome to New Earth Awakening. Today we welcome to the show Katrina Armstrong. She is a vision doula, divine activator, and energetic architect specializing in soul-aligned leadership and multidimensional transformation. As a seer and conduit, she bridges higher consciousness with the human experience to support deep soul alignment and transformation. Through her soul bridging technology and modality, she helps clients access multidimensional wisdom, transmute blocks, and activate their intuitive and creator abilities. She is known for her sacred transmissions giving through light language, tones, movement, and frequency. Katrina channels high vibrational energies that unlock DNA codes, integrate soul templates, and awaken the higher self. Katrina, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. What a gift it is.
Thank you very much for being here. And on Earth, by the way.
Thank you. It was a journey.
So please start by sharing. And what a journey it is. And that's exactly my first question. What was your journey and how did it lead you finally to this amazing work you're doing today?
Yeah, so my journey in my awareness that I am now started in 2012. So going through a radical shakeup and just a transformation, like a level of depth and transformation at a cellular level that completely changed my life forever. So almost like a different person overnight. And in that process, like everything that I experienced up until then, which felt like utter hell, like my whole life felt like this massive ground that just was one thing after another. It felt like there wasn't slowing down. And I knew from a young age that there's nothing that I had ever done to deserve any of this. So there's something else going on here. So I woke up in the experience pretty early on. And being able to see things that people are like, that's not possible, just doors opening. So it was always getting to go beyond what people said was possible and creating the most extraordinary things out of nothing, growing up really poor with little guidance. But lo and behold, like manifestation abilities, things would just start happening for me. So by the time I made it to 2012, I could not deny that there was a calling on my life. And, I want to back up a little bit because at the age of 12, interesting, 2012 and the age of 12 was a huge number for me. I actually received what I know as the initiation of the spirit. And that initiation began to take me into a deeper understanding. So like having what felt like a big part of me guiding me through my, what I call curriculum, this life experience that was challenging, full of like many different types of abuse and neglect and confusion and, just so many things that didn't make any sense at all. But I knew I had to keep going on. And despite anything, I could always see who people really were and that this must be some sort of game. So by the time 2012 came, it was clear I have to do what I came here for. I'm being called. So when it arrived and I was called out, I just said yes. And it started to unravel. And as it was doing so, I started to witness the transformation at the cellular level. Like I could see the transformation happening and it started to touch all of these different experiences in my life. So it was lighting it up and starting to show me like, this is actually this. This is actually this. So it started to collapse these realities, these beliefs, these ideas into this massive stream that was so strong within me. So then the Christ consciousness, of course, was the first to visit after that. So just everything morphing and turning back to pure love, which my experience of life was I couldn't really hate people. I could only see the truth in them. So I really struggled here with like, oh, what are boundaries and how does this work and how do we do this? And ow, why does this hurt? Why are you speaking this to me? You know, it was really hard. But at that moment, it began to collapse and come together. And I started to see at a deeper level and began to live. So the crystallization of the wisdom into the body started to happen. And I could not deny what I was seeing, how I was feeling, and how life was meeting me. So instantly it was let go of your life. In fact, it was like, let go of everything that doesn't belong to you. This is not who you are. So it became effortless because it was anchored from within me. So that was my journey. So since 2012, it was almost inevitable for me to receive, accept, and just to be in this consistent unfolding of the earth beginning to vibrate through me and speak to me. The gateways was the first thing that I began touching. You know, actually it was the light coming in before the gateways. So I started to begin to see like this gets to come in and we get to figure out how this gets to integrate into the bodies. And I remember the moment when I first seen it and I'm looking at this and I'm like, how is this ever going to get into this body? And just noticing, or what I was told was, well, that's your job. Figure out how all of this beautiful structure gets to return. So then it was the journey of like, well, wait a minute, this was already inside of us. It's already in us. So a lot of people talk about codes and they're like, oh, you just need to go get those codes. And I'm like, no. These codes are already inside of you. There's nothing to go and get anywhere. In fact, as soon as we start reaching outside of us, that's when we get in trouble. So I began to just notice like how this interconnected and the cells just started to vibrate and speak. So then I'm communicating with the body. I'm communicating with the animals, with the earth, with all of the different levels of people. So my beginning was connecting with the highest level of me and being able to communicate soul to soul with others. So I was doing things the opposite. I was coming in from source into form, whereas a lot of people are ascending from they're ascending out of the density. But for me, I was bringing that into the density so it could unravel and show itself to me, which gave such an extraordinary vantage point. So that was the journey. That's a lot. But that's really my curriculum.
I love it very much. And I love it that you call it curriculum because, that's also something that's amazing. Like the best things of your curriculum vitae are those things that you usually don't write in an official curriculum vitae.
That's so true.
So what you just talked about. I love it.
Just how we can make it such a small thing, our experience, when it's actually the richest. We think it's about oh, we need to go and have this ceremony or do this thing. And I'm like, oh no, everything is right here in the curriculum. It is so powerfully woven in. Like my reality, a lot of times I feel like when we go to the places with the medicines, and I'm not against that at all. But when we reach there, or we're touching, source, or we're touching the earth in all these different ways, we're actually looking to touch ourselves in such a deeper level. And our actual curriculum is designed for that. So being able to access ourselves to bring that into the curriculum allows it to open up and meet us. So the reality is kind of psychedelic, when you are really in tune there, when you're able to access that. So for me, I couldn't imagine putting any, I don't drink or anything like that because my, life itself is so activating.
The way I see it is that psychedelics or those kind of things are helping us to look beyond the veil. You know what I mean? They are opening up a new way of reality, kind of. And you can reach that, at least from my point of view, also through deep meditation, because I also have times where I've opened my eyes from meditation and have seen the structures and forms. For example, when I was looking at a tree and then I was seeing the structures and it was like a pattern and I was like, wow, what is this? But
Yeah.
from what you started speaking about, like what really stood up for me was the number 12, which is basically also a 3 in numerology, which is the Trinity, right?
Yes.
And the strongest form that we can have, the triangle. And then let's put the word duality out there and the illusion of it. Would you like to please explain from your end, how do we integrate the higher wisdom of the illusion of separation, the illusion of duality that we signed up for before we came here? Yes, of course we did. But it's an illusion after all. And it doesn't mean that there aren't things that we need to discern. But please, what is your point of view on all of this that I've touched upon slightly?
There's so many directions I can go there, but the very first thing that's coming out loudly is that, we're really bound by the rules of the illusion that we're in. So it's not that I feel like we position ourselves in such a way where we allow for the illusion to be what's moving us rather than recognizing that, wow, this illusion is so beautifully designed and is here for me to experience myself through. Right? So when we're actually in the creator role of that, then we're able to step into the illusion and recognize, okay, you have, which everyone seems to still have, we have this issue with authority because of the way that it's, designed in this matrix, this reality. But in truth, when we are stepping into an illusion, we're bound by the rules of it. So realizing that here in this now moment, my curriculum has brought me to this particular illusion. So what I mean by that is, we struggle with authority, with this idea that something outside of us has this power over us. And because we're pushing against that so strongly, we create more of that because these are constructs that we made an agreement with to be in this experience. So if we're pushing against it, but we're bound by it, then we're entangling ourselves. So then all of our creative energy, all of the beautiful essence that we are, never actually gets expressed in this experience at the capacity that and the level that it wants to be. So when we say that we're bound by something, it's really like, oh, what is really here? What is this speaking to me? So when we talk about duality, and we're looking at this experience, I want to come back to the triangle. So for me, I've been devoted to holding the Trinity, interestingly, the Trinity altars. So I have altars and I've traveled all over the world and done deep sacred work into the earth with recoding and, done groups and community and been really devoted to the templating of humanity. So being able to see, when we look at the Trinity, the masculine, the feminine, and the child. And what begins to happen is when we bring ourselves into that formation within the heart space, we are able to arc. We're able to arc our own essence through there, and it ripples throughout the generational lines, throughout all of the different imprintings, the things within us to begin to stabilize us, right? But we have to do that from the gateway of the heart. So which makes it so much easier to be stepping into the illusion, into the duality, because what begins to happen is you create unity. Like a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm going to create unity. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to access. And for me, what I found is when we're willing to do this from the deepest parts of us, just to begin to make that connection, it'll begin to vibrate. And that's where you want to be at, because then you're able to become a unified living light that's moving through the duality. So we're bound by the illusion that we're in. It's perfectly designed. The only reason why it's not is because our mind is telling us there's something wrong. This isn't right. And I recently spoke on this about misalignment, like this egoic trip that people are on, like, oh, you're misaligned. You need to go and do this. You need to go and do that. And I'm like, no, you're exactly where you need to be for the medicine and the realization that will bring you forward. So that deeper, the Trinity, that three, being able to cultivate that within and being able to create stronger pillars inside of you is what allows for the replication of your own essence. And that's where, like, all the ones and zeros, the yes and no's and the rights and wrongs and the is it this, is it that, begin to dissolve themselves, because they actually can't even exist in your field, because it's, as you cultivate yourself, you begin to stabilize your reality differently. So that's another direction. There's so many directions we can go with this one. So when I speak about the Trinity within, being able to even meditate, and when you're meditating, connecting with the highest expression, dimensional expression of your divine masculine in your form. And for me, the signature of that is the Christ consciousness. So being able to call forward and to make that connection, which is an extraordinary guide, and everything here is created from the energy in which it is. So if you are meditating, connecting with the masculine within you, that literally the Christ consciousness holds the keys to the structure, then it begins to reform itself and begins to teach you, because you're actually listening, right? You're not trying to get out of anything. And then it starts to show you, right, from the inside. Oh, this is actually this. I know it looks like that and that and that and that, and it's the same thing. But in truth, I'm really this. And this is what's going to stabilize you. So you begin to discern from the inside. So you can do the same thing with the divine feminine. And for me, the spirit has been what I've supported hundreds of thousands of people with reconnecting with, so that they can actually feel. And discernment is truly a gift from the soul. So being able to connect with the spirit and the essence of the divine feminine that is literally transforming this whole planet, ask for discernment there. We forget to ask, right? So going within and connecting with these parts of ourselves that, well, how do I do that? And where do I find that? And what does that mean? Let it all go and bring yourself fully back. One of the hardest things that I have found is people being able to come into stillness, but nothing's speaking. Well, that's a good thing. Or there's nothing moving. Oh, well, that's a good thing, right? Because everything's always moving out here. It's all positively charged. So if you're bringing yourself into a state that is that still, that is, if you have that ability, even if it's only for a minute, you can begin to cultivate that connection with the divine masculine in you. Show me you. Give me a sensation, right? Give me a signature, a color, or maybe you already have that, my divine masculine, the Christ, my divine feminine, the Magdalene, right? So being able to even feel that outside of you if you need those signatures, right? But ultimately being able to go inward, even if for just a minute, because when you do, you start to create more spaciousness. Right now, this body is full. It's been stored. That's why we experience disease and pain and difficulty in our bodies, is because we're internalizing all of these illusions and all of these things that have been separated from themselves so far. And then they get stagnated and we store them in our body. And then we don't have the space for our own expansion, for our own God spark, the part of us that is one with it all, to really come online. So that's what I do. I can, activate that and support people with walking that out and being able to build their visions through that. So moving in the illusion, when we look at separation, when we look at duality, when you're able to anchor yourself here, that begins to collapse itself. And it doesn't happen overnight. I'm not gonna like some naive, like, this is gonna happen overnight. It was a deep dedication to bringing my energy back, recognizing where my energy is going, where I'm allowing others in, and really reclaiming my space so that it can light up, so that it can recode. Gratefully, that happened for me in 2012. So I learned the pathways. I understood, like, oh, this is where this gets clogged. That's what is showing there. But it all began with connecting to the heart, into the earth, and pulling energy up from the earth. So I could even see, like, oh, I've been clouding this. Oh, all of these thought forms that aren't even mine. This is ridiculous. Like, how long have I been carrying these? And so it's just this beautiful journey of devotion. So a lot of times we want this quick fix, and it's such an illusion, right? Like, people are like, you can't expect a quick fix. But the thing is when you let go of the quick fix idea, it happens faster. So it's literally polarity, right? So if something is pushing, you humble, you lean in even more. You breathe in even deeper. I don't think this is ever going to be over. Be with it for a moment so it can reveal to you what it actually is, right? The illusion wants to return home. Duality wants to unify more now than ever before. The earth, the harmonics in the earth are way above where humanity's at. So we have access to any and everything we could need. So that connection from the heart into the earth is such a powerful place to begin. Just reconnecting to nature, asking for that support through the trees, through the animals, because it's alive, it's flowing, it's speaking. And we were once that level of connected to it. And that's where we're being asked to return back. So the new human, the full spectrum human, is able to hold all of those emotions, knowing that they're actually all our friends. And when they arrive, we're able to relax into it, to feel it, to allow it to open up, because we remember that these are actually the constructs that we are creating reality through. And right now, what a gift it is that they are returning back to us right now, showing us them. And sometimes over and over again, because we can be stubborn, so that we can actually birth something new. But we can't birth anything new if we're trying to make them the same thing. So a practical thing is one of the things that I started doing that was extremely supportive for me so that my divine child can come online, because it actually is your ancient one. It's the one that holds the keys. It's the one that knows how to move through this with ease. But you have to have the other poles anchored. But what I started to do was, when I went to sleep, I started to review my day backwards. And I started to release the pain, the frustration, the annoyance, the moments where maybe I wasn't as forthcoming as I could have been, and forgiving myself. And, oh, that could have been a little different. And, just releasing the whole day from that moment all the way back to the beginning. And then going to sleep, which made dream time way different. It turned into pure energy. So then my body is actually able to rest and be taken into places, I bring people into crystalline chambers and places in the earth to be able to recharge. Like, your inner knowing, like, you know where to go. But if it's clouded with all of the things, right, that you're carrying over, then you actually can never access that. So clearing that to go to bed, clear. And then when I wake up in the morning, my intention is to not imprint my reality, like, at all. So waking in a childlike wonder, like, oh, what's the ground going to feel like when my toes touch it? What's the handle on the door going to feel like, right? So you definitely don't look at your phone when you first wake up, because it'll literally just just instant, like, plugged right back in. And then you're able to actually allow life to show you what it is, rather than you telling it what it is, right? Because if you're going to tell it what it is, it's like, oh, this is the command that you're giving me. I'm just going to bring you more of that. But it's so much more fun and more creative to let it tell us. So to arrive at the door and be like, oh, what's the handle feel like? Or my partner or child, who are they today? Wow, what are they going to say? And what starts to happen is you begin to stabilize in your true design. And then it begins to ripple. All of a sudden, the child that's angry in the morning starts to calm down, or the partner can see you because you're not seeing them through some idea or some imprint of who they've always been or who you believed them to be, right? So you start to rewrite yourself so that life can start to speak to you from your design. And then that's where the fun is. That's where the new earth begins to breathe through you because it can actually find you. So it's always been here. We've never been separate from any of this, right? So the balance of the duality is, finding that place of like, what am I defining you to be? There is no good or bad, right or wrong. So if you find yourself polarizing in one direction, let go. And you can even say that, let go. And bringing yourself back to the center, back into the heart space. And being able to really navigate here. The full spectrum human is what my work over 13 years has brought me to. And this understanding of like where it is that we have access to abundance. Everyone wants abundance. How do I have more money? How do I have more joy? How do I have more life? What is the answer to this? Can you give me the quick fix? Can you just like change this for me? And that really took me deep into I work with the rays of creation, which everything here is designed through. So much like the Christ consciousness, tuning in, which is how you access the rays. When you tune into that, you begin to open the whole spectrum. And through my work there of guiding and bridging so many beautiful souls fully into the body to actualize their visions here, I found that the seven rays, the original rays, open up this full spectrum abundance, which it all has to do with being able to start from the foundation. Because if not, you're going to have leaks. And it's as simple as choosing to wake up every day without imprinting your reality.
Yeah, thank you. And we will be posting your link below because you have a free gift for the audience for the 7 rays of abundance, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So people can tune into it.
Yeah, such a powerful journey to find how those bridge together. And oftentimes I find modalities and, modalities have been birthed through me and technologies like the soul bridging technologies. I mean, so many potent frequencies just move freely through me. Like I could have never imagined, never ever in any of my ideas that this is what I am, And I just kept stepping into it. So those 7 keys to full spectrum abundance is going to show you, hey, this is the way that this shows up in what we call like the duality of it. But I really want you to see it as a bridge. Like, oh, this is here, but this is what it is. Right? So being able to collapse those, that's where the fun is. That's where we can create new possibilities. And each one of us have within us such a powerful design. And it lights my heart up to watch people light up and to see that come online. So that whole guide is encoded, and it's deeply encoded to call you out and who you are and show you how to create here as it, because it's all designed to take care of you. There's really no way that you can mess it up unless you're choosing to mess it up. And I know that sounds crazy, especially if you're struggling with something and you're like, you don't get it, like right there all the time, right? So then, that's why we have each other, where the fresh eyes can come in and be like, hey, let's just breathe into that for a moment. How wonderful it is that you got to experience that part of the curriculum. I didn't get to touch that part, but right now in this moment, I can feel the richness of that. And I'm getting to receive from your process even, right? So we don't realize how valuable the experience the curriculum truly is for you and so many others. Like, we don't always get to see it at first, right? Like what it's opening up. But when you're on the other side of that, which I'm sure everyone here has been on the other side of a deep journey or, going through a process, you're like, oh, wow, that was amazing. So I invite you to really breathe into that and appreciate that emotion, appreciate that thought form, that pattern, and watch how fast your life changes. Because when you do that, it recognizes itself in you and it's like, oh, we're complete. But what often happens is, oh, that's over, next thing. And it's like, oh, wait, what else is there? Like, are you wanting to play some more, right? Which is okay too, because it's infinite. We can go any direction. We can go, we can keep deciding to be in the same journey. That's really the power of it. So if there is anything right now I'm hearing strongly that to really land is the power of choice. And at any divine moment that you're not feeling like you actually have choice, to recognize and ask, show me my choices. I don't see them. People will talk a lot about surrender, but surrender is not a passive thing. It really is this moment of like, show me. I want to move. I want to see. I want to open the doors, but I'm not getting it. And sometimes, we don't want to look, like we don't know. But I have to tell you, I spend a good amount of my time not knowing anything because I find that's where the power's at. That's where it can reorganize itself. That's where life can bring me something that I'm like, wow, I never could have imagined that, not lining up because it looked like it was pushing against each other. So, and what begins to happen is you build resiliency in your own curriculum. And that's where mastery's at, right? So I teach mastery of these 7 keys even to show you how to navigate that, how to balance it when it feels like the whole world is just pulling on you. How do I stand up in a stream that feels like it's just been plowing me? And that's exactly where I was when I started. And I know that my transformation was actually a massive act of grace because I don't even know if I would have made it because it was so intense. But reaching that moment to where I was so humbled and seeing that you've already been in all of these doors, you've done all of it, do what you came here for. I had to surrender. I'm like, okay, show me. It has to answer you. It has to answer you. It's designed that way. But the thing is that we are operating from separation. We're separate from you. I've got to figure it out on my own. I don't have to, no one has to, like, no one's going to show up. No one's ever shown up. Why would they show up now? Like, what? Like, I'm hearing all the stories in the head right now that come through. But ultimately, it's like, it's designed to take care of us. I can't get this wrong here in this moment. Maybe my bank account is empty and I don't know how many times I've had to go through this lesson of like, you just don't even look there. Like, look again. Look at what's really true here. Who are you and what is it that you're setting into motion right now? If you are truly provided for, why are you looking at an account to decide your worth or your value or your ability to do anything? So, to walk this, I had to master that, right? So it's like, hey, guess what? You're going to travel all over the world and here's $200. Okay, interesting. All right, so I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to throw all of my things in the dumpster because I'm clearly going to be out for a long time. Like, what are we not willing to do? Right? What are we attached to? What are we believing we are? I mean, I ripped up all my certification, my diplomas. I mean, I was grad school. I was moving towards there. I mean, I was like full on in it. And it was like, no, none of this is really real. Let it go. Let it go. $200 to my name when my very big first journey. And I'm like, I have no lifelines, right? In my mind, I have no lifelines. I don't have the parents that support. I don't have any of this, right? All I have is this deep inner knowing that's like, this is the direction and you get to move. So I started to move that way, and within 2 hours, that turned into $4,000. And for me, that was quite a bit of money. Starting out, it was like, whoa, okay, this is gonna take care of me. I see. And then lo and behold, I showed up and was my authentic self. And even if I was shaking, I'm speaking the message, which I think that is really my role. Like, how messy can I get? How can I show up and not do all the things perfect and still land through the what's beyond the words, the truth that is there? And guess what? It always responded. Within the first 10 months of my creating this business, I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I was at 6 figures. I'm like, I didn't even know that, right? Because I'm on mission. I am lit up. I'm like, oh, this is real. This is true. This is flowing through me. It's connecting. I'm alive. I can feel every cell in me in it. And that feeling, there's nothing that can touch that. No amount of money in the bank account has ever touched that for me. And it's never gone away. And that's the beauty of living in encoded design. I didn't know I was going on a passion thing there, but
It's
absolutely.
the thing. Follow your passion. What is it?
Yeah.
What
and I
lights
didn't
you
even
up?
know it.
What makes your heart sing, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's your
You
visions.
just stumbled upon it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it
Yes, and
slammed right into me.
Yeah. So I love that you said that. I don't know. I don't know. Well, for me, I don't know is a place of power because I'm not attached to anything. And
Yeah.
it's where everything can flow better, and just easier come its way, So what I would like to know now is your definition of abundance, because abundance is actually not only just about money. Abundance is about, do you have peace of mind? For example, that can be abundance. You can be abundant in peace of mind. You can be abundant in time, how you spend your time, how you choose to spend it, right? You can be abundant in many, many different ways. So what is your personal definition of abundance?
Well, I speak about full spectrum abundance, but I would say at my foundational level is peace. Like, no matter what is I have, no matter what is around me, if I'm at peace, I know very well from peace for me, I can create anything. Like, everything else in the physical can easily return. Like, there's no question at all about that. So foundationally, it's peace, a full connection. So if I feel abundant in my connection with the earth, with the flow of energy moving through me, it brings me right back to like, oh, I'm fully provided for, no matter what is outside of me. So there's a full knowing within me that whatever's outside of me, I created from where I just was, right? Because it takes the physical a little while to catch up. So when I'm looking outside of me and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have that and I don't have this. And I'm like, let go. Where am I right now? What do I have right now? So abundance for me is present moment, feeling full, in the present moment. And of course, it extends to an abundance of joy. Like, my heart, because of the walk, like, it's ecstatic. Like, it does not shut off. Like, this thing is constantly going and it's excited. It's excited about life. It's always looking for what else? What else do we get to see? What else do we get to touch? What else do we get to create? What are they holding over there? Who are they? That lights me up. So finding abundance for me is having the flow of my own essence moving, because I know if that's moving, anything I could possibly want is there.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. So let's move deeper into the new human and how playfulness and laughter play a vital role in the construction of or co-creation of the new earth.
Oh, I love it. I love that one. Yeah. Spirit is playful. Like it literally is a playfulness. And then there's the moments, a lot of times people see me as a very serious person, but they often are meeting me in a space, right? They're meeting me in a space where there's transmissions, where there's something landing. And in that kind of field, there's a structure. There's a beautiful structure to hold that. But the wonderful thing about play, when your internal structures are strong, like you can't help but express and play and be joyful and move and enjoy the flow of life. And you realize that it amplifies it. It literally amplifies it. And our natural state comes online. So when I was young, like pretty much my whole life, I've always been interested in people that were kind of like pulling back or they were kind of negative. Like my curiosity was always like, oh, what's going on over here? Who are you? It's like it wanted to light it up, right? It was just always a pull for me because I'm like, wow, what's happening that's so serious over here? So I had to learn like how to engage and be able to honor, people in their different processes, from a young age. Because for me, I'm like, wow, this is such a gift. Everything was a gift in life. But yeah, when it comes to the new human, there is so much joy. And this ecstaticness, it does not go away in the most intense moments. I am literally in moments where I'm like, I have no idea how any of this works or how it's going to land, or, all of these things are asking from me certain stuff. But my heart's like, and it's just like flowing it out into it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let it go. Let it go. Let it reorganize itself. It was designed to reorganize itself. We were not designed to be managing it in the way that we have. And that's a whole topic that we can go into. Yes, we're accountable for what we create. And yes, we set things into motion and we get to hold the structure of it if it's ours to be doing. But when it's ours to be doing, it's not heavy. It's not something that's weighing us down. It's not something that's overtaking our joy, right? It's a very clear knowing. And then we can notice, whoa, I'm giving way too much of myself to this belief or this idea that it has to be a certain way. Let's pull that back. And it can be as simple as that. I'm just going to pull that back, cleanse, purify, and bring it back into me so I can see it again, because I know that we're supposed to be playing together.
Yeah, I love that. And, that's like, you just need to sit back a little bit at some stage and receive, like and that's also something that you talked about, that is about surrender versus just giving up, and the power of choice, because that's how we're able to attract stuff with our every choice, every single now moment. We can make new choices all of the time if we want to. Like if we discern, there comes the discernment back, that this was aligned with fear instead with love, we can choose to align with love, even if it feels scary or like, oh my gosh, So let's bring it all back together, like full circle.
Yeah.
And go further into the new human. So how do you see receiving and choices? Because I tend to say that choice is Christ consciousness, So how do you see that regarding the new human?
Yeah. So the new human, which is the template that I am, has been all about agreements. Like, what am I actually agreeing to? And noticing, what did I agree to unknowingly? Because then you can shift it in the moment, right? So it's that movement from, because oftentimes when we look at the word choice, we're like, we've been given choices, this or that. We've been programmed, like you have this choice or that choice, or you got all of these choices that overwhelm our nervous system. So coming back to like, where is my actual agreement here? What am I agreeing to? That way you're solid in it. This is my agreement. I'm following this out. I don't quite understand exactly what this is. I can ask questions, but when we bring it back to agreement, it begins to open up. It engages with the living light in us differently. In the new human, we're not operating in stagnant light. We're not operating in, generational frameworks that have been rigid. Not that there isn't wisdom in that, but we crystallize that wisdom into the flow of what we are. And then we're transacting with that. We're moving with that, which is what the ancestors are asking for. They're like, hey, please rewrite this. Receive what it is. Let go of the stories. Let go of all of that so that we can actually flow here because, that essence lives through us. They are still alive because we are here moving that. So that means we have the power of them as well. So the full spectrum human, the new human, we have access to all of that at all times. So we can pull on anything. So when it comes to discernment, that movement from like coming out of or moving into more crystallized form, the discernment has been key and something that I teach on right at the center of all of it is the ability to know the difference between discernment and judgment. I think that's one of the biggest ones because oftentimes we're trying to base things off of like, this is it, but this is what I know. This is what all of my grandparents, this is the story. This is what all the groups say. This is, even though there's this deeper wisdom, this inner knowing that you can't really access unless you are choosing for your experiences to be met through the soul stream, to be crystallized, right? Which is a whole journey, that journey of turning curriculum into wisdom. But this is where the confusion usually happens with discernment is what's judgment and what is actually discernment. So this is one of the biggest bridges that I find. So discernment, being able to tell what is true for you, which brings me into truth, which I know is resonance, which is cultivated through the Trinity within you. So bringing it full circle here, right back. So here in this now, anyone that is listening, we can take this moment to ask for the gift of discernment, which is a gentle inner knowing that lands, which is why a lot of people don't hear it. Because they're like, I want something to shake me up because we've been so used to everything being intense. And we're going to have a lot of that. So why not create something soft, gentle, that you can keep landing back into here so that it's stable, so that you're strong and stable here in this body. So asking here in this now, so bringing all your awareness fully back to you. Ooh, so many of you are so far out. Ooh. So just bringing all that awareness back and bringing it to the heart space. Whew. Opening up the doors of the heart and stepping in, fully allowing for your presence to activate the heart space, to open it up and expand it out and around you here. Connecting to the highest level of you that you have access to. All the way to Source, to God, to the Creator. Here, I'm just going to clear the field a little bit and anchor everyone. And here in this now, just asking the Oversoul for the gift of discernment to vibrate through, to illuminate in the heart, to touch the nervous system, to anchor you even deeper, to speak through the senses, and to fully align mind, body, spirit, bringing you fully into coherence here in this now. Release. Deep breath. Don't forget to breathe. So there, an opportunity to just receive the gift. The level, the capacity, and the way that you choose to receive it.
Thank you very much, Katrina.
Yeah.
That was
You're welcome.
amazing. And now we are going to ask you the most important
Ooh.
question of this episode.
Okay.
Which is your vision for the new earth that we are co-creating right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. My vision of the new earth that is here in this now, already flowing through us, one with us, is that we are so interconnected that we, the field itself, generates exactly what we need. The trees can hear us, the earth can grow, it can form, it can flow. Everything is in harmony so that all needs are met, all hearts are heard, and that there's such a symphony, that we are in such a level of bliss and celebration for all of life, however it wants to form, that it dissolves in any moment, anything that is incoherent in the field. And that is really the power of the new human, the full spectrum human, and of the new earth. We are the new earth. Yeah.
I love it. And so it is. So, Katrina, do you have any parting messages for the audience?
Yeah, I'm feeling this deep message to really honor what is in the background, looking for a way to break through, to speak to you, even if it's as small as saying a word that you won't say to someone, or making a move that you've been afraid to move, or whatever it is. I can feel the movement of things that are rising in the field. So my message is to honor it and honor you. You have way more wisdom and ability than you realize, and everything here is looking to meet you. So step forward. We're ready for you.
I love it. And we will be posting your links below so that people can get in touch with you once they decide they are ready to step full into their vision and need help from you.
Oh, absolutely. We walk together.
We're walking each other home.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Katrina, again for being here with us today.
Yes.
And namaste.